In today's video, you're going to learn how to drain the lymphatics of your arms, wrists, hands, and upper body. I'm going to show you DIY exercises that you can implement today to help you improve your lymphatic flow and reduce swelling and edema in your arms and upper body. Stay tuned for more details. Hi folks, I am so excited to share with you today some great exercises that you can start to implement today to move your lymphatics of the upper extremity. This is applicable for anybody who has lymphedema or swelling in the head, face, sinuses, neck, upper back, under the armpits, and arms, hands, wrists, and even helps drain the breast. So I'm going to give you several exercises that you can implement immediately. These are available to anybody of all ages, all exercise ranges, and mobility. Some things might need to be adjusted as we want to make you comfortable, but you can do this from a chair like I'm sitting in. You can do it from bed if you're in a surgical setting or healing post-surgery, and if you are bedbound as well. It's super easy to implement and will be very impactful. So at the end of this video, you are going to have tools and techniques for you to drain your lymphatics. If you haven't subscribed already, I hope you will. I produce videos like this every Tuesday and Friday. And favorite this video if you want to go back to these exercises. So I want to begin with explaining some of the ways to move the lymphatics of your body. And I showcase in this video details about how to dry skin brush. This dry skin brush is an essential tool, but I'm not going to talk about dry skin brushing today. I'm going to talk about things that you can do, exercises, to move the lymphatics of your body so that you have less swelling and lymphatic congestion of the upper extremity. So there are initially two parts to this process. I first want to open the space in the abdominal cavity and the upper torso so that when we start to move and exercise the lymph of the arms, wrists, and hands, fingers, that there's space to clear. And so the first step of any type of upper lymphatic movement is to do something called diaphragmatic breathing exercises. And what that means is you're taking a deep breath in and you're literally pushing out from your belly button. And so when you're breathing in, your belly wants to swell. And it sounds probably a little confusing, a little odd. If you are used to yoga or meditation, you might be used to this type of breathing. But you literally are going to breathe in and you're expanding out your belly. So I'm breathing in. What diaphragmatic breathing does is it literally causes your diaphragm to expand, and in that expansion we're pulling. So it's a valve opener for the lymphatics. By pulling and opening the valve, it allows us to get some flow moving. It's a forceful kind of lymph flow where we're opening the valves. If many of you have rebounders or have been recommended to rebound or do trampolining, this has a very similar type of process on the body where it literally forces the valves of the lymphatics to open up. So that's really key. So I like to start with that for 3 to 5 minutes. Just pushing your belly button out as you're taking a breath in. And when you breathe out, your belly button comes back in. So it is somewhat counterintuitive, but very impactful. So that's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 involves breathing in and pulling back your shoulder blades. So you want to push your shoulder blades back together. So we breathe in and you're pulling your shoulder blades. I like to hold. You don't have to, but you just want to do a good deep breath in, shoulder blades back together, and out, shoulder blades separate. Breathe in, shoulder blades together, breathe out, and separate them. That starts to open up that kind of flow in the back part of the body. So we want upper torso and we want the upper back torso to be all flowing, because when we start moving our arms, that's going to be key. We do 3 to 5 minutes of belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, where you're breathing out, and then we move to where we're doing the shoulder blades, 3 to 5 minutes there. And then it's going to sound silly, but I like to have people, if they can, comfort-wise, put their thumb in underneath the armpit, and literally, now you can breathe normal, but you're going to be moving your shoulders up and down from the armpit. So it's like a rotation. Now, if you can't do that, and some folks are going to be limited from surgery or range of motion, especially mastectomy or post-surgical cases, you don't have to do that. But what you want to do is you want to kind of raise your arm like this. So have it be like a level plane against the air, about a 90-degree angle. And you want to move up and down. Now you can do that together, but you're moving, what's moving is your armpit. Okay, so the other thing, you can do the chicken dance. So this is an altered version. You're still going to get the same kind of thing, but flapping your arms. I like to flap and rotate. That's really key. Flap and rotate. Okay, so you want to do a little chicken dance. You can literally do that to the chicken dance. Or you can do the kind of rotational. You can go like this, up and down, but you're moving from the armpit. You can go forward or backward. Okay, so you're going to get some flow immediately after surgery or radiation. Sometimes the range of motion to actually lift your arm up is not there. Just go to the point of comfort. You never want to make yourself uncomfortable, and you never want to fully overexert or overextend your body. Especially with the lymphs, you want to be slow and gentle. So speed isn't always important, it's just the activity. What you want to do is you want to get movement and motion. Movement and motion, and that kind of repetitive flow moves the lymphatics. So those are 3 to begin with before we start our arm exercises. In any of the exercises, you want to make sure you have an upper good stance, good positioning, good alignment with your upper body. Have your spine in a very relaxed but straight position. And what you want to do, now you can go either side first. I like to start with the left because this left drains about 80% of the fluid. So I like to start left first, and then we can go right. What you want to do is you want to go up and down, up and down. So a little bit like that chicken dance, but what you're doing is you're just moving your shoulders. And you're pumping, pumping, pumping. You can do them both at the same time. Pumping, 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 pumping. You want to make sure you breathe while you're doing this, okay? Now, the other thing I like to do is kind of put your hands together back here and move from the elbow, okay? So that, you're literally moving up. Does that make sense? I went to Florida State University, and we go like this, very similar to the back part, and you're just moving from the elbow. There are lymph nodes on the inside of the elbow that get activated when we're moving them. These tend to be very sore and tender, and sometimes folks will experience swelling. Sometimes the swelling will be back over here by the elbow, and sometimes it's on the inside. But a lot of times when I'm palpating or working with folks, these 2 areas will be swollen when this lymph node's an issue. So what I like to do is I like to get those moving. You want to do the wrist. So you can put your arm all the way up, hand raise, or you can put your arm like this. Preferably it's best if you put your arm up, but for the intents of this video, I'm just going to have this here so I can show you. So I like to do wrist circles, and you can have your hand closed, you can have your hand open, or slightly disengaged fashion. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to have my wrist closed, but it's not essential. And what you want to do is you want to move your wrist up and down, side to side. So I have a little one, I have a little toddler, and you want to, this exercise in both hands, you want to pretend like you're controlling a puppet. And so we watch a lot of the Sesame Street, the Muppets, And so up and down, you've got your puppet shaking his head, and left and right, it's going no. And you can do swirls, left and right, okay? So what you're doing is you're forcing a flow. Stability is an issue. You can put your hand underneath your elbow and go like this. Up and down, circle, circle. Okay, so that you're going to do on both sides, okay? Now, a lot of my lymphedema cases, and this primarily my lymphedema cases that have upper body lymphedema, it's mostly from breast cancer, breast surgery, lymphedema or lipolymphedema of the arms. Now, in many of those cases, there will be swelling up to the elbow, swelling up to the wrist, and then sometimes we'll get a bubble kind of right here on the outer part of the hand, and the hand's fingers get compromised. If you experience that, you're doing open hand, close hand, open hand, close hand, open hand, close hand. You can do this 10 times and then wiggle your fingers. And then open, close, open, close, open, close, wiggle your fingers. What that's doing is engaging the lymph. So there are more lymph vascular channels and lymph capillaries in the hands, more so than lymph nodes. You have lymph nodes right here, but that activity is going to help move the fluid pockets that you might get. In any part of those exercises, you're going to get flow. There's no one absolute best way to do it, but what you just want to do is you want to get activity. So those are exercises that you can do today to move the lymphatic flow and to begin to see lymphatic reduction. I've had many of you ask me about lymphatic compression garments, sleeves, and wristlets. I'm going to list down below a link to one of my favorite companies that has a ton of really good, high quality compression gear. And the advancements in lymphedema and compression garments has gotten to the point where you don't have to do the wrapping. They've got now really great compression quality wraps that are adjustable that can help move the flow throughout the day. So I'll link to that below. And for all of my folks that want to do lymphatic drainage, I do individualized tailored plans to work with you in your particular situation. And also I recommend Lymph Stem. It's a homeopathic that I'll put down below that is amazing. And it's an amazing complement to dry skin brushing and the exercises. And for women that may be dealing with some scarring or kind of pulling, I'm going to have another video, so stay tuned. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to break up some of the tight scar tissue after mastectomy surgery. That's coming up in a few weeks, and I'm so grateful for your time. If you have any questions or recommendations or do these at home and discover that it really works for you, please tell us. It's so wonderful to have a community here where we share and we come together. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.